Willie D Live.
It's Willie D, y'all, back with another episode of information and instructions to help you navigate through this wild, crazy, beautiful world. In the studio, my old classmate, Dr. Marcel Thompson.
Hey there, what's happening?
Welcome to the show, man.
What's happening?
Hey, you know, we went to Forest Brook at the same time, but we missed each other because I was a grade ahead of you, and you only went there for 1 year. You went there in the 9th grade, and then you were out. Where did you go after that?
C. King.
C. King.
So I went out to C. King.
Ah, right up the street.
For a little bit. Then head out to health professions, finish health professions.
Oh, okay. So we still gonna claim you though, man. You're a doctor. You know what I'm saying? We gotta claim that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we gotta have that.
Back in what was the Forest Brook ISD? No, they call it something else.
They called it North Forest.
North Forest
ISD,
which
is what they call Forest Brook. They combined Forest Brook and Smiley, and now they call it North Forest High School.
I remember the rivalries with Smiley.
Yeah,
it was.
That was big.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time to be over to live. It was to experience Forest Brook when Forest Brook was there. And just that whole vibe during that time. It was a beautiful time.
Man, you know, I was thinking like it's a trip, man. How we both walked the same halls, but we took different paths.
Right.
And we both accomplished in our own rights. You know, I became a rapper,
right, and
you became a doctor,
right.
And you know, with all of that, do you ever think back at like your humble beginnings and you said like, man, I can't believe I'm doing the stuff that I'm doing right now, and I've accomplished so much?
Oh, most definitely. You know, it was matter of fact at Forest Brook where I've been knowing I wanted to do my work, OBGYN work, since I was in 6th grade. But it was actually...
How does one know that he wants to be an OBGYN in the 6th grade?
I was blessed. I grew up with a lot of women. And so being raised with a lot of women, they talking about the periods and doing all that. I was comfortable with. We talk about the influential people in our lives. I had a great 7th grade biology teacher. And, you know, he just really opened my eyes to what science can bring. And, you know, so I started getting into that. And actually at Forest Brook, on them lunch breaks, I just happened to be in the library and I saw this book. It said how to get into medical school. And so I kind of put it in my bag and went and stepped on out. And it really, because I didn't have anybody at the time I didn't know any doctors or anything in my life to kind of guide me through the process. But it kind of let me start reading the book, let me know that, hey, I got to go to undergrad, then there's medical school, then there's residency. So really kind of opened my eyes to the pathway. And the seed was planted in 6th grade. But I think when it's crazy about how Forest Brook, how the opportunities and things that are presented to you, you know, if you see them for what they are and you just take it, all the places like Forest Brook, which, you know, Forest Brook it creates us. You know, it creates the person who you are. You can't take that away.
Yeah. I got to ask this question, man. I got to ask this question. And I hope I don't embarrass you with this, but and some people are going to say, man, you didn't have to say that. But I got to ask it, man. It's nagging me. It's always nagged me, and I've never had an opportunity to ask this question to an OBGYN.
Mm-hmm.
When you decided that you wanted to become an OBGYN, did you do it to get next to the women?
Nah. I mean, I love some women. Don't get me wrong, but it was... no, man, you know, at like I said, I was comfortable around women. And as I started getting more into it, you know, it really... OBGYN, the profession itself has a little bit of surgery, has a little bit of ER medicine, has a little bit of, you know, medicine and so it started just, you know, hitting everything. You know, I was sort of like a master, you know, what did I say, a master skilled in every trade, master of none, or something
Yeah,
like that.
a master of all. No, what is
Let's
it?
go.
Master. I don't know, I can't even remember
I
what
can't,
it
but
says.
you know what the
You
hell I'm
got me confused now. Yeah, no. It's a jack of all trades,
Jack of all
master of
trades,
none.
master of none. So it's sort of like that profession, but it's really, I don't do any more deliveries, but it's giving me the opportunity. I was blessed to deliver my middle child and stuff. My middle child, I was blessed to be able to bring him into the world. I always say, literally, I could take you out. I brought you in the world. I could take you out to my son. But I always have thought that being an OB doctor has a special place in there. You're the first person that touches that child when he comes into the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so being that with my son, that was kind of a very surreal moment. In fact, when he first came into the world, I delivered him. And, it was just a surreal moment that, when I'm delivering him, my wife's in the stirrups and cutting the cord. And, and it's like he didn't cry, but he was fine. He's like, hey, Dad. Let's put him down in the warmer, and then that was a beautiful moment. If I stopped delivering at that moment, I was cool, and I stopped delivering back in about 2014.
What are some of your thoughts when your son was once he came out?
Mm-hmm.
Did you develop like a series of thoughts after he came out that you didn't have before he was born? Because you had a long time to think about him before he was born. But once he came out, was there like these new series of thoughts that was rushing through your head?
Yeah, it's always, I think, as a parent, it is, you start to have some self-reflection on your upbringing and how you always want to erase the negative and stuff and really try to build with the positive. And really, but that does take some self-interest, reflection. And so when, bringing him up, really kind of being that fatherly role, spending time, just that was more, I think, on the forethought with that.
Yeah. I know when my son was born, I was the second person to hold him, and we didn't know what he was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I was right there holding his mom's leg, one leg. And boy, when I saw that sack, I just started jumping for joy, and she screamed, "Willie!" I was like, "Oh, my bad." But I got a boy, you know what I'm saying? I got a boy.
Right,
and now, and once, she wiped the afterbirth off and everything, I'm starting to hold him.
Yeah.
And all of these thoughts just started rushing through my head like, man.
Responsibility.
Man, like this little innocent kid that ain't never did nothing to nobody. I mean, he gonna be public enemy number one now.
Yeah.
A black male. Just to be a black male, period.
Right.
You public enemy number one just because of your skin color and your gender.
Right.
You're public enemy number one. And now it's my job to give you all the information and instructions to help you navigate through this wild, crazy, beautiful world.
Right. And that's what I tell my sons. I'm like, there's a lot of people you'll meet in the world. And a lot of people going to tell you this, a lot of people going to tell you that. I'm your father. I will never tell you anything that's going to hurt you. If there's one person in this world beside me and your mama rooting for you, it's going to be me. And with that being said, I try to share with them all of my success, but all my failures. A lot of things, it's the time where, if we break it really back down to hunting, we hunting out here. You have to provide.
And being hunted.
Right. You're being hunted, but, in order for you to survive, whether that's a job, whether it's a hustle, that or whatever, and like being hunted, and hard being hunted, you got to, hey, don't go that way in the woods. You need to turn this way. Don't follow and give them bits of advice on surviving.
Yeah.
And not on surviving, but really thriving and succeeding where, I left off.
Yeah. Man, let's talk about our partnership, man. We got a partnership with Be Well, and we're doing a lot of good things in the community. I remember when I first met you, when Bruce Bray introduced me to you. Bruce is here.
Mm-hmm.
He introduced me to you, and my first impression was, good brother. I felt the energy, and I also felt what people were saying about you online, because I looked you up, and I was I checked out your reviews. Everything 4.7 and higher.
Right.
That's beautiful, because I don't do nothing under 4.5. If that review is under 4.5, I ain't touching it.
Yeah.
But yeah, saw all of that, and one of the things that resonated with me was that people kept saying that, how you are professional and caring, attentive, and how you explain things so well.
Right.
And I got it immediately, because when we were talking about, doing our business venture together, we had a conversation, and you was breaking down, male enhancements, and we was talking about the testosterone shots.
Right.
The way you explained it, it was so easy to digest. Where you get this knack from, man? Like, is it something that you had to work for, or is it something that just came natural?
No, I think God puts you in different places where He wants you to be, like us being at Forest Brook. I mean, you vibed on an aspect, even though we talking, but I think that I've been blessed in that aspect, in the fact I've been put in different places and different situations, and to understand that people are really everybody, whether you was Asian, Spanish, whatever we talked about, we similar age. And so what goes through my mind is, how am I, as the age we are, how can I explain to you as though you my brother, or you my cousin? And I've always taken that aspect. My first job when I got back into Houston, I worked in an Asian clinic. I was the director of their female services at an Asian clinic. I've never been worked around no Asian people, other than, in the Chinese food, that was about it. But I said, God, just, you're going to put me where you want me to be at. And that taught me that when whether we don't communicate, I'm doing a translator, but that woman that was there, or the male, that could be my sister, that could be my aunt, that could be. And so most people, when they come to the doctor, they want to be able to be that they're listened to, that this is what's going on with me. Listen to me. And once you listen to the person, then you're putting it back out. You're coming out with the plan, but you're coming out and it's conveying to the patient that I am looking out for your best interest. And as long as we are doing the knowledge that I've been blessed with, I'm going to try to convey to you and say, hey, this is our plan, so that you understand where my thought process it is. And I'm quick to tell a person, if, damn, I don't know that, but I can look it up. And as long as we're there, then, man, that little Asian clinic, it took off. We started having, they started bringing the Chinese nationals start coming over there, and it just really grew. And then we went over to the Spanish, over to Legacy Clinic, and I was there at Legacy Clinic for a minute. And I told Legacy, look, I want a clinic, a black clinic. And so then I came over to the Lions Clinic on the 5th Ward.
Yeah.
And we, I came over there. We grew that clinic pretty good, the female, the OB clinic. And my aspect with, particularly when it comes to healthcare in the community, at that particular time, and still is access. A lot of people just have, they just can't get access to care. So if you run the business, or you run the clinic as though you run a practice, in which practice have to be efficient to be able to continue to just make profit. And, I'm like, we can't have my people in here waiting all damn day for an appointment. I'm like, let's work on building efficiency so we can build productivity. It may not look great or whatever, but people say, hey, I know Dr. Thompson cares for me and I can get in and out this damn thing. That's what would sell. That's what we're and that's how you buy community buy-in. Then along with being involved in the community and saying, hey, we worked out a deal with what's the hospital over here? What's the hospital? The major Harris Health Hospital that's over in Fifth Ward. LBJ. We worked out a way with them in which we could get our patients that we know they're going to be needing either surgery or they're going to be high-risk health care to their deliver there to work out with something with them, because I knew in the community, not a lot of people like LBJ, particularly clinics going over there, but if I'm like, okay, cool, you see me, and we provide you the OB care, and then when it's time for you to deliver, they already got your stuff set up. You could deliver, then you come back to me. And that worked out well. We built that pretty quick. But what I realized is that I sat on a few boards, and we know that when you sit on boards, that's where the true decision making is made. You can have all the altruistic hopes of being out there, but until you sit on the board and you're on a couple of boards, you understand that, in order to really affect change in a particular, pick whatever, it's the people at the table who are making the decisions. So that's when I decided to start my own practice. I said, okay, cool, I'll start my own practice and be in a financial ability in a financial place to sit at those boards. Mm-hmm. And I know that was a long answer for a short question.
But sometimes it's needed, Sometimes it's needed to give people an overview of the services that you provide and the passion that you have. Correct. I want to go backwards for a moment before I go forward and make a correction. LBJ is located in Kashmir Garden. I know some of you people in Kashmir, from Kashmir, areas Kashmir Gardens was just fuming. Like, nah, that's in Kashmir Garden. That ain't Fifth Ward, Kashmir Gardens. So that's, right. So that's Kashmir. Right. That's in Kashmir Gardens. Be Well, the main goal of Be Well is to provide access to underserved communities. And so obviously that's your passion, and that's why you are one of the owners of Be Well. That's, that's what drives you, what I'm saying? Correct. Like really like helping underserved communities. Correct. Where did that come from? Because you wasn't necessarily raised in an underserved community. You're a middle income guy, we walked the same halls, but, I was poor. You were okay. Where did it come from? I guess you knew a few poor people, though.
It's what they, the Jeffrey, the Good Times. They had a 2-parent family, but they were, they were still surviving. So,
Good Times, my all-time favorite sitcom.
Right. And, my stepfather was a truck driver. And my mom, she worked at one of the oil companies, secretary and stuff. So the first one that graduated to go to college in my family. So you weren't that we were all that, but we were, we were okay and stuff. And
man, you never worried about them lights getting cut off. Well, you didn't. Maybe your parents did, but you didn't know. You didn't know.
Right.
That's the key, because if parents going through it, kids shouldn't know.
Right. Yeah. So they definitely sacrificed so that, and like all of us do. Yeah. But yeah, it's been, it was just going through it.
Man, let's talk.
And I think when you're asking me where does that come from, it's like with this men's health, and I look at hypertension, diabetes, obesity, some of the common things that are happening within the Black community are very tangible things that we can just do, but we don't do. In the best way that if I can, number one, give education out to the people, is one aspect, but the other aspect is, as I've been going through this, and a lot of people, a lot of doctors, they, just go fix your diet, go exercise some more, go, do that. And all right, damn, if I knew that, I'd have did that. What do I need you for? A lot of times I notice within medicine, this is, just give them the high blood pressure. He's just juggling medications around. Fix the diabetes here, take that for diabetes. So I started getting more into the functional medicine. So like with hormones, with men. It's not about just, take the hormones and ask, but it's how you feel. People in particular, after they get 50, men after they get 45, 50, we just start feeling just drag. Your mental fog gets down, and you just, go to the gym. You just go to the gym, you knock out a little bit, and you see yourself, all right, I'm cool, I'm keeping track. The older you get, it's harder to maintain muscle mass. And if it's harder to maintain muscle mass, while at the same time, our diet is getting, we want to eat like we used to, but we shouldn't eat. We want to party like we used to, but them damn margaritas and them Long Island iced teas, the calories start building up on us, or the beer. And so then we're wondering, we look up one day and the scale is over here, the blood pressure's up here, doctor's telling you about your diabetes. In this case, you have a little bit of erectile dysfunction, maybe not every time, but sometimes. So I realized in doing this work that in order to really start affecting people, you have to affect the change in which their behavior and what motivates and what drives that person. It's the main thing. I was doing that for real. Tell a person come in for the appointment, hey man, you need to do some better with your blood pressure. So we're going to go up this. If they need that, that's fine. But hey, what if won't you get on this right here? It'll help you get back in the gym. This is going to get you ready. This is going to get you motivated. This is going to help you change your diet. These are some actionable things that, that you can do, so we don't have to have a discussion about what we do next.
Yeah. And you can talk about all that stuff all you want, and a guy may not listen. Correct. But the moment you say it's going to help you perform better in bed, you got his attention. Because I'm gonna tell you, brother. All the other stuff. Yeah, I listen to it because I'm pretty much practicing all of the other stuff already. But I pride myself on satisfying the woman that I'm with. That is I take that personal. Correct. And so, anything that I can do to give me an edge on any potential competition or any experience that she may have had in the past, including one with me, I take that personal. And so this is why I'm so excited about excited about this venture that we have, man. I'm totally digging the peak enhancements, man. You know what I'm saying, man? Right. I'm totally digging that, and I had never thought about like testosterone shots and stuff like that, because I pretty much thought I was good, but when I started hearing about the benefits, I'm like, well, I can be better. You can always be better, right? Anybody can be better, right? LeBron, you know what I'm saying? He's cold as out there, but he could be better. So I'm thinking like, okay, what's the process? Right. And when you broke down the process to me, the only hang-up that I had was the idea of getting a weekly shot. Right. And I'm like, man, I ain't scared of no shots. I know if I got to do something, I'm going to do it. I'll take the shot. But I don't know if I want to do this every week. And I said, well, looking at the overall benefits of it, and it's also a great business opportunity because a lot of people are getting into those testosterone shots and stuff. It's big business. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna test it. I'll try it out, because I don't get into any kind of business without understanding what I'm getting into and trying out the product or services first. Right. And have it, and not just trying it out, but actually being able to vouch for it and saying, okay, I'll approve it. I'll put my stamp on that. Right. So when you broke it down to me, and I said, okay, I'm gonna do it. Went in. Still had a little trepidation. And then I said, okay, go ahead, hit me. And you did it. And I was like, that's it? I'm waiting on the sting. I'm waiting on something, you know what I'm saying? I'm waiting. Right. But I didn't feel anything. It wasn't like the normal shot that you might get in the arm when they're trying to take the blood. Right. I mean, that stings a little, but I mean, it don't really do anything to me, but you do feel a sting. Mm-hmm. Didn't feel nothing.
Right.
What is that you're using? You put something on my arm.
I mean,
what was that? Just regular alcohol. That's all that was.
Alcohol, right.
Why doesn't it sting?
A lot of people think it's I just don't do a stab. I just put it in and just let it just ease on in, and it'll ease right into the muscle, and then it's the medication itself doesn't have a burn-in effect to it, so just ease. Most people feel either the stab, if you're like, oh damn,
oh yeah,
and stuff. But if you just put it and you just eat it, and when I show people how to give the injections, I tell them just that way, just put it to the skin. And then just gently push it in, and then before you know it, it's in. And you just push the plunger down, and you're done.
Man, that damn it sounded like a sex act. Put it in. Just put it in.
Just put it in. Just put it right there.
Plunger in. And then before you know it's done.
But that's it. But, all the benefits, and you're right so far as with the driver of, putting people, making them, if I tell a dude like, hey, this is why your A1C needed, this is going to help you perform better. Everything that we do in this life has been really driven around sex. And that, to me, that doesn't stop. Yeah. I think we put it off because as machismo, we don't want to talk about it. So, having platforms like this, like, damn, man, I thought I only felt that way. And it's not that, you're admitting that there's something wrong with you, but everybody can be better. And, like I said,
right.
If I'm competing with you, if I got an edge on you, I just got the edge.
and believe me, I don't care if you've been married for 20 years, you compete. I know some of these guys, no, man, see, that's the problem. Everybody think, hey, man, you can think like you want to think, but I'm talking about reality. Right. I'm talking about what's real, what's really real.
Right.
And if you're not satisfying your woman, trust you me, she's not living her full life. She's... and you're not, right there. She's not living her best life. Right. You know what I'm saying? And you're not living your best life, man. It's something, man. It's a beautiful thing, man. Take it from the gangster love, man. I'm telling you.
I see a lot of couples, and we see some guys, couples are being married for 20 years, 20, 30 years. Kids gone, you living a good life. You walk around your drawers. But now it's you and her, like y'all started. And we got y'all there, and what got them damn kids there was sex.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't just marry for a cooking. There was some other aspects of that. And so what happens, the reason why we do the couples things is that a lot of times, at this particular stage, it's not about, she's your girls, she loves you, but why, she's not really trying to do anything and vice versa. And y'all get into that rut. Y'all get into that type of once a week, once a month, maybe sometime on a holiday. And you just get into that rut. And neither one of you understands why. And a lot of that, man, once we get the women on, they get back in the hormones, and they start, And then, of course, once the men, they start, they're like, they start looking at it a little bit different. And you really start to understand that this woman that I loved, that was, I know why. Now we can go any damn place. And so a lot of times we get couples, they taking a night. They know they're about to take a nice vacation. They want to take a nice vacation. They come in, we get them, up, and we get them whatever we need. We got the full range, and testosterone is just one of the things that's the base that gets you. If you need anything else, we can do that. And they come in, and then you start to see couples back together because I had one come in. It's like, man, I thought I was, have to leave my wife because he's on to start, and he's liking it. But she turned down, and he's like, man, if she don't come in, I don't know and stuff. And so we got her tuned up, and now he's like, man, dude, you saved my marriage just because now her libido is up, his libido is up. They start getting back to each other like they did before.
Oh man, this is good, man. You doing God's work. You doing God's work, man. Look. You want to get your situation right, man.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm gonna tell you right now how to do it. What you want to do is go to peakenhancement.com. That's peakenhancement.com. Enhancement without the E. Okay, so it's enhancement. The letter N, enhancement. And fam, you can get the information that you need if you want to, get yourself some testosterone shots and stuff. I mean, we serving everybody, man, because that's what we do with Be Well. Let me ask you something about this, because people are going online to order their shots, and get signed up and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Traditionally, if we have an issue with our bodies, we go to the doctor.
Correct.
We go see the doctor. Who said that? One of them rappers said, "Go see the doctor," but I can't remember right now. But that's what we would do traditionally. Now the game is online.
Right.
And pretty much every industry, the game is online.
Right.
With Be Well, we can get you to the doctor of your choice, the lab. We got the doctors, the labs, and the pharmacies. So you can go to Be Well to find doctors, labs, and pharmacies.
Mm-hmm.
What's your take on that as far as the game moving from the office visits to the online visits?
Oh, man. COVID changed things. They changed the whole playing field. We realized that, I could, you go to assess. Most time you make a doctor's appointment, so your friend just go over your labs. You came there, hey, this is your lab. And you're like, damn, you could have did that. We could have did it on the online and did that. Mm-hmm. So a lot of things, that when people are going like this, like, hey, I feel this, okay, I'm basing a lot of my decision not only on your history in which you're talking to me, and we talk over online and stuff, but I'm also basing, now I got your labs in front of me and stuff. So then it goes back to, what you're here for, and we're there. So doing the online process, it just is cut out in it. And we talked about access. Because now we're looking at access. And a lot of times, instead of you having to go, and I would think that was probably a barrier, that, nobody wants to sit up and wait in the office all day. We doing things. We have, so the ability that, hey, I'm on my phone, and I'm talking to my doctor here on the phone, and we're going over that, and then we cut the other step out. Then we got the stuff delivered right to your door where you want it and stuff. And so the biggest thing is part of all of hair care is getting people to do. Come back to the appointment. Oh, I can't make, whatever, I can't make back. And you got a phone and stuff. Go, need to pick your stuff up how many times. We're like, oh man, it's at the pharmacy. It's at the pharmacy. No, it ain't. It's where your phone at. They'll deliver to where you say where them to deliver at. And so now our conversation online or with the provider is more about how are you doing. And we've removed the aspect of the barrier of why you're not back or you can't get to the job situation and everything. You got a phone right up beside you. It can be you got an interaction with somebody. So I think that's the moving from this platform on the online platform. We see them doing it everywhere, Romans or Nooms and hell, Weight Watchers now. They doing stuff. So I think the accessibility and the marketability of having that platform is really revolutionized medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, a man who is a little impotent, right? Mm-hmm. And this had to be hypothetical, And let's say I need some help.
Mm-hmm.
I tried the gas station pills.
Right,
They're dangerous.
Right.
They're very dangerous. I know it, But man, I got to work. I got to work this thing, man. You know what I'm saying? I got to put it down, man. You know, like I got to satisfy this woman, and I'm scared of these damn pills, but I need something. I need some help.
Right.
Somebody hit me on to. They hit me on the peak enhancement. I go to the website. I sign up. I go to peakenhancement.com. Bam.
Right.
I get my. Well, you tell me what I get. When I go to, what's the experience like? I go to peakenhancement.com, and you tell me what happens now.
All right, you go to peakenhancement.com. You'll get a representative. Well, here, get your information. We'll start, getting your history and everything. We'll see about getting your blood work. Everything, get your blood work taken care of. So get it all set up. So schedule your appointment with the provider with me. I have all your information in front of me. What's the range of times, or the calendar, or whatever range of time to schedule a time with me. We set up. We talk about kind of what's going on with you. You're like, well, hey, I got this problem. I got I want to get my girl. Been all the things that we talked about. Cool. So if we want to do testosterone, cool, but there's a lot of other things we also could do. If we need to hit you out with some Cialis or some Viagra to see how you do, that's fine too. But a lot of times, what I tell a lot of guys is that it's about getting you right, getting you healthy. I mean, the erection part is half the piece. But like I tell foods, I mean, they want to try to get with a girl that's about 10, 15 years younger than them, and then they can't go up a flight of stairs. They got that big belly on them, or they got that big, whatever, they just, it's hard for them to move around, period. So the immediate is, okay, cool. Rather than you taking chances with those gas station pills.
Right. What if she's 65 and he's 75?
She's 65. He said, we can still help you out. They still help you out. They'll still help you out. But you bring up a great point in the fact of it is by individual. And so, everybody has their own, in particular, why they're there. Everybody, and also, I've seen some pretty healthy 75-year-olds. I've seen some pretty bad-looking 55-year-olds.
True story.
And, so seeing where a different individual is on the spectrum, we know what we want to do and stuff, but as a provider, okay, let me help you out what you want to do, but let's see about how we go about doing it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing that a lot of people don't take advantage of or understand is that you can run off and get the pills out of the gas station. Then when you're up in the damn ER and the urgent care talk about you can't breathe, you didn't have to, you weren't assessed. You took that own assessment of yourself, and unfortunately, you have to pay that consequence. Not that happens all the time, but it does happen sometimes.
Yeah. Peak Enhancement has a network of doctors. You don't have to just be in the Houston area. You could be in New York, Maine, wherever.
Right.
You'd be good. Explain to me. I'm still stuck with this. I'm sorry, man, but I got to work this. I got to work this while I got you.
Yeah.
This male enhancement thing.
Right. It's a big business.
Okay, testosterone.
Right.
I go in to get my testosterone shot.
Mm-hmm.
I get my shot, and then I leave. How soon it kick in? How soon can I get down, start getting down all the way?
Well, it will vary from person to person, though. But really, it's the peak.
Where can I bring the thunder? The thunder.
Depending on what the hammer was like, it's. But normally, if you have good function, relative, take care of yourself and everything, and it's just about just getting that level up. Usually around day 3, you'll notice your peak. The injections will last for about a week. And you'll peak up around day 3, day 4, then it comes back down, hit yourself off with another one. But it's better than what you started from.
Is week 1 better than week 20?
Yes. Week 1, but week 21 or week 22 is not so. You're back down to where you were before. So not immediately, but you're not where you're at.
No, I'm talking about if you got a shot at week 21 or week 20. If you had a shot at week 1 and you come down in a week and you continue to get shots all the way, and then week 20,
correct,
are you more potent at week 20 than you was at week 1 after week 1?
Right.
Or after that 3-day period in week 1?
You won't necessarily, I'll be honest, you won't necessarily be potent, but you're a lot more potent than you were before. And we had the discussion so far as about, with women on hormones, and they asked me, well, when do my ovaries kick back in after they reach menopause? And the chance of it's not going to kick in. And so the aspect of when men, the term is we call it andropause. And andropause is like menopause.
Oh, hell.
And stuff.
Andropause.
So,
that's what men get.
Yeah. And that's why their levels will start to decrease down. And they don't feel that variety, that they used to feel. But when you start back on testosterone, how you felt back when you were 23 and 25 and 30 years old, that was due to testosterone. But now that you reach andropause, so now it's already tuned down. Your testicles are going to kick back in. So the aspect of using the hormones to get you back, into that. I wish I could take you back to 21, but mid-35s, I was doing damn good. 35s, early 40, and to have that amount of feeling, to have that level of variety, just being able to have the go with all, and having that amount. That's what the hormone does for you.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out a rap to go with andropause. Andropause. I'm going to put that in a rap. That'll be dope. Because they ain't talking about that andropause, man.
But everybody, and every man, we go through it. It's like every woman goes through menopause. It's, the increased brain fog. I always call it the get up and gone. It's gone up and went. And, the muscle fatigue and the increase, you're not necessarily, but you knew when you could get out and get up and have the energy to go do shit and sometimes even sleep better, that's harder and harder to do. And so part of that is related to hormones. Women we do women then with hot flashes and everything, and then we give them a little thing like, man, why the hell I didn't do this before? And like we talked about the injections, but the pellets are also another other forms of how do you take in testosterone. But once it's there, particularly women, once they're better, that's better than the 1st and the 15th. They know exactly when it's time to come in. They call me, Dr. Thompson, time for my pellet to come back in. And they will come in because it's just that. And I think I made the analogy with like wearing glasses with you. You don't know how blind you were until you put the glasses on. And you're like, oh, wow, I'm seeing what I was missing. And being able to now look at, life is a little bit different. Life is I got a little bit more energy now. Changes the game a lot of times. And a lot of people, it's life and death.
Yeah. What is a low level of testosterone versus peak performance level?
Right. So lower levels, the ranges, a lot of people range from minimum of 300 or less, and maximum level so far as on a normal normal range is around 900 or so. Now, a lot of people will come in, particularly older you get, will come in close toward 500, 400, 300, maybe damn 320. But a lot of times they go to the doctor, well, yeah, you at 320, you within normal range. And we're like, damn, but I want to be, if I got to be in normal range, why can't it be 849? 850, my cutoff, that's normal range. So what we found out is that during when you were younger, your ranges may have been like in the 1500, 1600. And you that's why you were hunting. You were trying to hunt something back then that was that testosterone driving you. So with the levels that we get on, particularly on the injection, is it'll get you to, I like keeping my guys around 900 to 1200. 900, 1200, you got all the vitality that comes with being at that level. You got all the things that you want. You get lean muscle tone when you're doing that at that level. You have everything at pretty around about 900 to 1200. And that's it. There are people who want to get way out there, but a lot of times, a lot of people, the bad rap came from a lot of, sometimes the bodybuilders. And I'm not saying not all bodybuilders are responsible, because there are very responsible bodybuilders. But, the cats that get it way out up to 2000s, you start having more problems with organ problems, more kidney problems, more renal problems. And so one of the things by working with us also, we get to monitor what those levels are. We get to monitor, and periodically we monitor what you're looking at your hemoglobin, hematocrit, looking at your liver function. We get to monitor those things, and so that not only that we understand how we age. And as we age, certain things, I need to make sure that your liver is still doing your liver. Because you still may be, oh, shit, I got more to drink. Now I got energy to go drink and stuff. But if it's starting to affect other parts of your body, then we have to not only adjust the dosing, but we have to adjust things in your life that, hey, we need to get on this particular path again.
I can see some women making a conscious decision to not want their man to be taking testosterone shots, because, as you said, when you're hitting those 1500 levels, you were hunting.
Yeah.
So perhaps Daddy get back out there on the hunt if he gets up to that, 1,000, 1,200.
Mm-hmm. But I tell my mama, she get back. I mean, not that she got, but. You married this man. We married each other because, all right, we cool and everything else. We done shared memories. We done shared children. We done shared this damn house. So, if he's back to that level, why? Just come on in and see what's happening with you. Let's get y'all both back in there. And y'all, honey, again, like y'all used to. So I definitely don't think and particularly if the woman has her mind, say, oh, well, I want her to be the best. I want her to be able to, if there's something that my wife can take that's going to help her, not only, cool sexual, but it's just going to help her. So her mental focus is better. Her, she's not so moody. She's not so, and one thing
no moody? Oh, hell.
Yeah,
sign me up.
Right. But all I have to do is, and unfortunately it makes her, a little more friskier and stuff, and I'm not doing it. And she's on hormones. She's on, a lot of women, they are on hormones. And so they are. And you wonder, she's like, hey, and you back, just sitting back. Like, no, you get your ass, get back into the game. And stuff, and both of you are all in that. So I think when we brought us back to our couples, so we don't have any problems, me being the gynecologist works out well, since, I've been dealing with women for, years. And so the aspect of, I'm a 55-year-old man, and I know how, and just like yourself, I'm going to try it out before I start, putting it out. And see how, it can affect me. A lot of our conversation in discussing, particularly with men, is how it makes me feel. And I'm like, okay, and that's, I know how, I'm like, it does this to you. And when I'm explaining the decrease in the muscle tone, all the other things, the increase in libido, I'm experiencing it. And as new technologies start to come more online, I've talked about the peptide therapies, and there's other methods. There's PRP therapy. There's stem cell therapy. There's a lot of other technologies that are coming. That's on the horizon. That when we talk about aging, and I hate to use the anti-aging aspect, but it's how our vitality. Because you're going to age. I wish I could stop, 56 from coming, but 56 is coming. But
there's only one way to stop 56 from coming.
Right. I don't want that. Right. I don't want to go that route. So we can adjust how we get to 56 and how we feel about 57 and how we go about our body. We can adjust that. We can't turn the time, but we can adjust our experience. And that's how I can.
I don't give my age a lot of thought. I give my body a lot of thought.
Right.
It's like it's where am I? How do I feel? How does my body feel? Right. I don't be getting caught up in 57, 58. Man, I'm about to be 60 because I know what the alternative is, and that ain't too cool. Is there a way to like be like an average with your testosterone levels and periodically perform at your peak just for a moment? I'm talking about like maybe one time where you can match what a guy is like, say, that's at a level of maybe 1,500. Maybe your level is like 500. He's at 1,400. Is there ever a time where a guy that's at 500 can perform? Let's just say it's a one-off. Can he perform at 500 just as well as a guy that's at 1,400 or 1,500 could perform? Let's say for an hour. Is that possible?
It's everybody got the 15 minutes in life, but it's a cumulative. A person that is at 500, do they have a body? Their body physical. Are they a healthy 500? I mean, are they healthy? So
let's say healthy 500.
They're healthy 500. Then they'll have the health, just their body aspect to be able to they'll perform at that time. However, is that 1,400 also healthy? Two equally healthy people. One's at 500, one's at 1,400. We're just talking about just who's going to be more consistent with the outperformance. The 500 person, he might hit it, but a little bit. But the 1,400 is just consistency because his levels are consistently elevated than that 500 person. So that's how it'll be. If you're healthy, and we get people all the time, they're very healthy, eat right, do go and do marathons and everything like that and stuff. But their levels are low, and they come in. I have energy, but sometimes I just it's really hard, and I think that's where the hormones help out a whole lot.
What do you think about these doctors doing TikTok videos?
It's a way in which, unfortunately, with medicine, it's a way in which it's a communication. I think if, particularly as younger people in our generation period, particularly TikTok videos that's what, unfortunately, less than a minute to get the message out, that whatever needs to get out. And you have to, I think, be able to get that information out to it, and the ways in which that information, without choosing the platform to it. But I think if the TikTok videos can assist a person in their education, then assist them in their education. But that's a whole different subject. So far as when we're talking about the memory and the focus timing, because unfortunately I'm just 2 minutes, less than a minute. Unfortunately, if you can't, get some type of word out in that minute, you're swiped through, and we have to be able to totalize the thought in that less than a minute, and hopefully be able to piqued the curiosity of it. And it's like with raps, everybody want to listen to the hook. Everybody want to listen to the hook and take the hook out, and but it was that hook. Now, once they get the hook and you're sampling, everybody's sampling as a hook, then hopefully you get them to understand that they'll listen to the rest of the song. But and so the TikTok to me is like that. It's a snippet of a hook.
That's a good analogy.
And as we continue to do it, that's something that's right now.
Yeah. Now, I got a family member who is currently in the hospital, and his children want him moved. They want to get a second opinion, but he's still kind of under. He's conscious and all that stuff, but he's still and he's not in serious or grave condition, but he's still being treated. And they seem to be stumped as far as trying to get a second opinion. They don't know how to go about doing that. How would they go about getting a second opinion from another doctor? Could another doctor come to the hospital and give a second opinion? Or would they probably wouldn't allow that, right?
It depends on the physician. I think we have a good physician we know. I don't know if I say his name, Dr. Verone. Is a great, excellent physician for that particular type of, it's a very intensivist time. There's a lot of different things that you want somebody who has a broad sense of understanding of not just one system, but many systems and how those systems are all interacting. And I think, a physician that takes that under consideration, which in that case, in that level of acuity, you want someone like Dr. Verone that can do that aspect of things. Now, for me, I have a holistic approach to how I treat my patients. So we'll look at different aspects of how both the mind, the body, and the spirit affects that person. But where you're at in their acuity, and having a particular physician, if they have, hospital privileges there, and or they can share the patient's information, or the family can say, hey, this is our physician, we want your doctor. So I've done that, of course, with a lot of my family members. Hey, this is the doctor that is working with us to just really just explain the process and to understand that are y'all on, meaning is the hospital care on the right track of what they're doing in their care. You always want somebody to be able to do that. So you can have different physicians that do that.
But can they actually go into the hospital, into another hospital, and examine the patient?
Sometimes not, unless they have hospital privileges that are there, because you have to remember it's the hospitals also who's taking on that response. But if they want to come and physically examine, there's no harm in them coming there it depends on what type of examination they want to do.
Yeah, if they just looking over them like, I think we need to get them over to here. If they want to move them to another hospital, they can do that.
Yeah, they can do that as long as they have the family's consent. And the family says, because it's really the families.
Yeah. So they have to. The family has to go to another hospital, to whatever hospital they want to move him from first, and get an agreement.
Correct.
That he's coming.
Correct.
Right.
And then they have to, if he's stable enough to move, and the other doctor will come over and assess the patient and assess what his vitals are. If he's stable to move, and the doctor says, okay, we can move him, and the family agrees to move in, the accepting or the receiving facility is okay to receive the patient, then they can make that happen.
Yeah. So what do you think about these hospitals that are located in these small towns? Let me tell you what I think first.
Okay.
I think a lot of these hospitals that are located in these small towns are training grounds for physicians. You go in there, this is where you're gonna test you out. Yeah, they'll have some good ones in there that come in. They may have a few good ones, but I think a lot of times people don't receive the proper care in these small towns, and I do believe that is because the level of professionalism and experience is not there. What are your thoughts?
Well, actually, and you're right, but I think on different. The actual training and stuff is actually, and the teaching is done in places like the medical center. Where all they come and they practice.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to Ben Taub, you go to and the development of the physician is based like anything else, is based off of practice and consistency. So they learned and they train on, unfortunately, us. You're black, you're brown, and you're black, and then they train and they make mistakes and they do every particular thing in the county hospitals. And you have the doctors who were over them. I've been over residents, I've been over medical students, and I've been over. So we train and develop here, and then take your skill out elsewhere. Now the problem is that a lot of these smaller hospitals in the smaller cities, they have a problem with recruiting. I don't want to come out there and stuff. Not when you have major, say for instance, subdivisions like you have Circle Lane, you have these surrounding communities that are growing, that as a cardiologist or as a whatever the specialty may be, I can have a chance to live in Houston, go about here, but not really. And this facility here will pay more. So smaller facilities have a harder time attracting and maintaining that type of quality physician. And that's just unfortunately the economics. So it's not like that they go train out there. Sometimes they do have some training hospitals, but more than likely the people will train. If you're trained, depends on where you're trained. I trained in Tulane in New Orleans, and versus somebody who may have trained in a smaller community, they just don't see a lot, and their level of experience is but if I'm that experienced and I'm trained there, then I can command a salary in Houston. More so, a place like
But they're going to only be able to
Mama.
afford one of you at that
Correct.
type of hospital.
Correct, and so that's where you get so far as in the economics of it all. And unfortunately, the regional hospitals and the smaller hospitals are having a harder time of trying to keep their doors open, and they can't really try to attract that particular type of sometimes specialty physician. Particularly, they have hard times attracting primary care physician, just a gatekeeper of things. So that's more so what you're having in the smaller regional hospitals that's going on, and that's all over the country.
Right.
Unless you get a foreign, which the foreign medical graduates are coming. So now in those smaller regional hospitals, you now start seeing maybe more Indian doctors that are out there, more, because you're attracting, they got to feel they know that the people need the care. So, we need to try to get that care from them. They may have graduated from a foreign medical graduate school, but you need care.
Yeah. So what can people expect from Be Well going forward?
All right. People can expect from Be Well that a competent licensed provider is going to take over your care, is going to see what's, sometimes you may not even be a candidate for hormone. You'd think me better if I told you, no, let's don't do that, then let's do something else for you. You come back, and when you get this taken care of. So first of all, we have to make sure that you're a qualified candidate for the care. Review the care. Look at your treatment plan. Say what your treatment plan is going to do, and then be able to continue follow up with you and get your medication in a timely fashion. And that's what we do at Beacon.
Yeah, shoot the address out. What's the address? The online, you got it?
At Venus? All right, at Venus, all right, now at 926 North Willcrest. That's 926 North Willcrest in Houston, right by City Center Mall.
There you go. There you go. Family, I appreciate you coming on and
most
giving us that information and instructions to help us navigate through these wild, crazy, beautiful bedrooms. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Marcel Thompson. Yeah, thank you, man.
Oh, thank you, man. It's been a pleasure.
All right.
All right.
No more talk.
Cool.